on today's live, we're going to be discussing dressing for the masculine man you want. I'm going to go into why you should dress for masculine men, the how to do so, and a few mistakes that women make when it comes to dressing up in the realm of dating and relationships and dealing with men, particularly masculine men. So before we begin, I want to know, I'm feeling really bougie today. So that's why I have my sunglasses on. I'm feeling really extra and I love how I am looking. Just, yeah, anyways. But before we get into it, I'm going to give a quick introduction. My name is Ashanwa. Welcome to LAJA. This is a channel dedicated to style and attraction. These are just topics that I'm super interested in, and I love to share my thoughts, my experiences, and just things that I have learned along the way in the realms of dating, relationships, style, and men. So if that sounds like your jam, I encourage you to subscribe and stick around. Before we jump into the topic, I just want to understand your experience with dressing for men. Does this trigger you? Does this make you feel like, oh my gosh, Ashanwa, why do we have to do that? I want to know, so leave your comments down below and let's have a discussion. I'll be reading your comments and questions at the end of this live, so hold on to them and let's dive right in. So, I'm going to go into the importance of why we as women who are looking for men, heterosexual men, should dress for the masculine men that we want. And if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. Am I going to do this live with these sunglasses? Probably. I guess you have to find out. Just stick around and let's find out. I just love this look. Anyways, for one thing, the reason why we as women should and want to dress for men, and not just any type of man, but masculine men, is because we want to attract the right partner. How we look is the first indicator of how a lot of people, particularly men, judge us, and that's how they determine what caliber of women we are at first glance. So you want to make sure that you're sending out the right signals through the way that you look. And we're going to go into what some of those signals are and ways we can actually influence it so we can optimize our chances of attracting the right pool or caliber of men into our experience. I already mentioned this, but we want to get what we want from men. So when you're dealing with men, ideally you want to be benefiting off of the relationship. Thankfully, naturally, masculine men love to give, but we as women want to keep them giving and we want to inspire generosity from them. And a big part is in how we look because men are highly visual creatures. Number three, of why we want to dress for masculine men, is because beauty is currency and beauty is something that men, especially masculine men, hold valuable. And it's a currency, it opens doors. It doesn't necessarily keep you in the room. That is going to be your character, your confidence, your self-esteem, your boundaries, and your standards. But what gets you in the door in the first place is how you look. So we definitely don't want to take that for granted because first impressions absolutely matter. And then next point is that I already highlighted this earlier on, but we are walking billboards. We're sending out signals and messages of health, of strength, of beauty, of class, or we could even send out negative signals of neglect, low self-esteem, lack of confidence. And a lot of this is reflected in the way we look because men actually come to an understanding of how we take care of ourselves by how we choose to present ourselves to the world. So this is something that we definitely don't want to take for granted. And then something else I think is important to highlight is that women are status symbols in society. Back in the olden days, women were actually viewed as currency. We were used in trades, we were used to seal deals, we were used to secure goods and services. So to an extent, it was definitely, there was a degradation aspect to it where women were viewed as simple commodities and nothing more. But if you really understand what that era in history, it was just telling you the power that women had, the inherent value that women had or have, and that is in our beauty, that is in our energy, that is in our presence, that is in our emotions. We have those inherent values, and that's innate value that a lot of men do not naturally have. You've not seen a situation where men are being used as tools of trade in commerce and whatnot, and a lot of it still happens still today. And this is not to say that I'm promoting, objectification of women. My channel isn't really based around sex, what sexuality, and how to use that to get what you want from it, because I believe that the mind and mentalism is a lot more powerful, and if you can understand your man and get into his mind, you can really get what you want out of the relationship and make it super harmonious. We're not talking about mentalism now. We're talking about beauty and looks and the importance of using that to attract the right men into your vicinity. So this video or this live is for you if you as a woman are tired of the kind of men you attract. You're not attracting the kind of treatment or the caliber of men that you're looking for. We're going to break it all the way down, and I'm going to share tips on how you can turn this around and really improve the caliber of men in your pool. And again, ladies, this really starts with us. Men haven't really changed across the years. They've pretty much stayed the same. We as women are the ones that have changed. And we have to get back to our true essence and what our true value is, and really focus on giving these men what, not any man, but specifically masculine men, what they value, so we in turn can get the relationships that we desire. And if you're watching this channel, you definitely value relationships and you value men who take care of you and who serve you and pour into you. So yeah. So another reason why women are status symbols is because we cost. We cost money, we cost energy. If you look at a baby boy and a baby girl, the upkeep of the baby girl is typically a lot more than the boy. Women just cost money. And because of that, that is why we reflect and we dictate the value of the man in society. It's even in the Bible where it says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. The good thing, women have inherent values. We have gifts, we have currencies within us that automatically elevates the man that we spend time with on a consistent basis. So we as women have to be very conscious of who we give our presence to when it comes to dealing with men. So I think it's really important to set that stage so we can really understand our inherent power as a woman. While looks aren't everything, to a lot of men who are highly visual, it's super duper important, and it really influences how you get treated to a certain extent by men. So if you're in a relationship and your man is no longer taking you out, he doesn't plan dates, he doesn't give you gifts, you need to look at how you are presenting yourself. Maybe he doesn't feel inspired. It's that serious for men, And I know if this topic or if what I'm saying so far is triggering you, that's fine. But I like to think of it this way. When you are applying for a job position, it comes with a certain criteria of what they're looking for. And you as an individual, you as a woman, don't go into this job or into the company telling them how they should accept you as you are, how they should want these skill sets instead of that skill sets, or how they should, value you just as you are and just take you as you are. No, what do you do instead? You mold yourself and you align yourself to the job description. You go out and get the certifications. You go out and get the degrees. You make sure that your wardrobe is up to par. You code switch if necessary. You mold your physical appearance so that you can appeal to this job, so you can have the best chances of landing it. So if you can do that for a job that gives you money, why wouldn't you do it for a man and for your relationship? And you may say, oh, but it's a job, I'm making money at my job, I don't care about my man. But the truth is that, ladies, the fact is that our relationships, especially as women, impact us. They impact our hormones, they impact our success, and they impact just the trajectory that our lives go in. So if you are in the wrong relationship, that can literally make or break your life. But if you end up in the right relationship with the right man, your life can really elevate to new levels that you've never seen before. So personally, if you're willing to do it for a job, I believe that you should make that apply that same mindset to your relationships because you want to be happy. We are going to, ideally, most women or the women that watch this channel want to be partnered in healthy relationships where they feel cared for, where they feel ravished, where they feel like their man is still pursuing them and doing great things for them. And that requires, it's not by accident, it's not by just showing up. It requires you to put in the work as a woman. So always remember that. So I've gone into the reasons why we as women want to and should dress for masculine men. If it's not already obvious, I'm not really of the mindset of being a man repeller and dressing for women because women are not paying my bills unless you're a lesbian, which again, nothing against the LGBTQIA plus, but that's not really who my channel is catering to. My channel is catering to women, heterosexual women who are interested in heterosexual masculine men in particular. And you want to be partnered, that's a desire of your heart. And we as women have to do the work to position ourselves to attract these men because guess what, ladies, there's competition for these types of men. These men have options because guess what? We're going to go into what the masculine man is shortly, but these men have options of women. They always and they typically get what they want in the realm of life, and that includes women. So you as a woman want to stand out, and we're starting with the looks, but I'm going to teach you how you can stand out from other women to these types of men. So before we go into the next segment of this video, is common misconceptions and mistakes that women make when dealing with masculine men or when wanting to dress for masculine men or comporting themselves physically in their appearance and looks around masculine men. I have one, two, three, four. I have four beliefs and misconceptions or four mistakes and misconceptions that women might have when dealing with these men or when wanting to dress and appeal to these men on a physical level. Number one is dressing for yourself versus dressing for your girlfriends versus dressing for the man. A lot of women are like, oh, I just want to dress for myself. I don't dress for men. Well, that's probably why you don't have a man. No offense. Because you don't dress for men. You don't dress to appeal to men. Again, ladies, if you're not sending out the right signals, you can't be offended when you're not getting the results or the right results. If you're dressing for your girlfriends and all you have are girlfriends, but you want a heterosexual relationship, a healthy heterosexual relationship with a man, you can't be offended if you do not do anything physically in your looks to appeal to them. Because again, I earlier said that men are visual creatures. When you are with a man, you should appeal to him because, ladies, think about it. It's part of seduction. Seduction is part of appealing to your target. And we understand, I've said this several times and I'll continue to say it, men are visual creatures. So you want to appeal to the man on a visual level with your looks. You cannot escape this if you want to attract a man that is going to take care of you and really pour into you. You have to appeal to him in some certain way. I'm not saying that you shouldn't dress for yourself or your girlfriends ever, but when you're alone or with your girlfriends, you can dress how you want. You can be as man repelling as you want if that's your thing. You can, and this is also not a feminist channel either, so please understand where I'm coming from and my stance on this. But you can dress how you want, but when you're with a man, you should appeal to him. You should try and test out different outfits and see what he likes. Better yet, see what he looks at. And my mindset around this is like, oh, but I know people might say, oh, but Shama, this is toxic. Like, we shouldn't change ourselves for a man and stuff like that. But listen, understand this. You as a woman should already approve of yourself. But when you go out in the world and you're trying to get a certain outcome, you have to pull out the big guns. You have to play the game. You have to mold yourself, not in a way where you completely lose yourself. I don't believe in that because, again, you want to still be authentic and portray yourself in a manner that you can sustain and keep up with. But you also want to appeal to what the man likes and what he values. And how do you find this? So what I'm just trying to say is that you should dress to impress. And when I say dress to impress, not to impress yourself and your girlfriends, but to impress the man. Particularly one that you want to You want him to take care of you. So that is the first misconception that women have when trying to appeal to men on a physical level through their looks. Dressing for yourself or your girlfriends versus dressing for the man. And I say this with so much love and so much compassion. I'm not judging because I've been there before. I've been in the space where I've just dressed for myself. And guess what? I still had men approach me, but they weren't necessarily the kinds of men that I would want to be associated with. So I'm saying this from experience. I know what I'm talking about. So that is the first mistake. So the second misconception or mistake is saying he should love me for me. So I'm all for unconditional love, but unconditional love only exists between your parents, ideally, and your kids. Most men, or majority of men, and men don't love like women either. The relationships that we have with the opposite sex is highly conditional. That's why if you watch any relationship channel, they always tell the women and even the men to an extent to have standards and to have boundaries and to have deal breakers. What are those things? Those are conditions, meaning that if you don't meet A, B, C, and D, or if you break A, B, C, and D, I cannot be with you. Those are conditions. Your relationships with the opposite sex, especially when you're dealing with men, are super conditional. So I really encourage you as a woman to let go of this mindset of having a man love you unconditionally, because it's not the case. It doesn't exist. It's not possible. It probably would exist after like decades of you all being together, and even then men just like what they like. The same way you have your standards and boundaries, the man also has the same as well. And if you're no longer meeting those needs and those standards and those boundaries, you can't be surprised when his affection or his treatment of you changes. I know it's super disappointing. I know it's like, oh, but Ashanwa, that's superficial. Men can't be into looks that much. Yes, men are into looks that much. It's that serious. And if you're a man watching this live, which I'm not sure why you're here, but welcome, I would love for you to leave your thoughts and your opinions down in the comment section. I know I have a few men that comment on my content regularly. I really appreciate you all, but leave your comments down below. If I'm missing the mark, please correct me. But how important are looks to you as a man? For the men that watch my channel, I know there are about 30% men who watch my channel when I checked the last time. So please let me know your thoughts. I would love to know if I am really hitting the nail on the head when it comes to me emphasizing the importance of looking good. And secondly, the second reason why he won't necessarily love you for you is because, ladies, to maintain attraction in dating or even in a relationship, you as a woman have to put effort into your appearance and money, because men are visual. You want to have a relationship where the man is chasing you down. He's calling, he's texting, he's planning dates, he's giving you gifts, he's planning vacations, he's proposing to you, he's marrying you, he's taking you out around his friends, he's showing you off. A lot of women want that because we love to feel desired as women, don't you? But for that to happen, the man has to be visually pleased by how you present yourself. But if you stop putting the effort into yourself, he's probably going to not have the motivation or the inspiration to want to plan dates or be as elaborate in his gifts, or be as, not that he should treat you bad because you don't look your best and whatnot, but the treatment is definitely different. It's definitely different, and we cannot deny this. If you're in a relationship and you're watching this video and you're like, oh my, I don't remember the last time my man planned a date. How do you prepare? How do you present yourself? Are you always in flip-flops and leggings whenever you're going out, leaving the house broke, busted, and disgusted? You're sending a signal to him, and he doesn't feel inspired to want to take you out in public and take you around his friends because you don't make him look good, unfortunately. And men are extremely selfish. It's something we have to understand. Not just men, but human beings in general. But men in particular are very self-focused and selfish. They mostly do things that benefit themselves first before other people. So if you as his woman are not benefiting him in the form of like, are men, other men jealous when they look at when you're with him because he's with you? Do you make him look good in front of his peers? Because men value the opinion of other men. And a way men are able to pull rank in society is through the woman that they're with. So if you as a woman are not looking up to par, he's not going to want to bring you around his friends because he doesn't want to look bad in the eyes of his friends because he values their opinion. I'm not saying this is politically correct. I'm not saying this is right. I'm just saying that it is what it is. And I'm sharing this with you so that you do not make that same mistake if slash when you're dating or you get into a relationship. You always want to keep up with your looks, not just for the man, but you also want to be in this position where if something happens, God forbid, you can move on swiftly. You still look good. Your esteem is intact. I mean, I know your esteem is not actually, it's not fully tied to your looks. It's partly one portion of your self-esteem, your looks are, but you want to leave that relationship knowing that you can get a replacement for him if he were to mess up. But if you're always looking like a bomb, he's not going to feel like there's competition for you out there. And guess what? Men like women who other men like. It's just how they're wired. And why are they wired that way? Because they love competition. They love the chase. They love to know that they have the best of the best compared to their peers. This is just how God has wired them. And now we understand this and we can really hold ourselves as women accountable to keep up with ourselves, keep up with our looks, keep up with our health for you first, but also for your relationship and for the man. So that is the second reason or the second misconception that women make or have when they are trying to appeal to men with their looks, and that is he should love me for me. And I've gone through why this is not necessarily the best approach or strategy to take with men, especially masculine men. Number three, the third reason or the third misconception that women have is getting too comfortable and letting yourself go. So, ladies, I know typically when we first start dating a man, we always, because everyone is on their best behavior, we're trying to impress, we're pulling the big guns. You have your hair done, your makeup done, you have your skin waxed or lasered, and everything is just prim and proper because you're trying to look good and make a good first impression for this man. But what becomes an issue is when you fall off that self-care and that routine that you once led with when you started dating this man. However you met him or he met you, you want to be able to maintain that or get better and improve upon that. I'll give myself as an example. So when I first started dating my current date, I was bigger than I currently am right now. I weighed 180 plus. I just stopped counting after 180 pounds because I was just not interested in seeing the scale when I saw that I weighed past 180 pounds. So I was still dating regardless, because again, my inherent belief is that a man is going to like me at any size that I'm in. And so I started dating my current date. And of course, I put myself together. I still had my hair done, my makeup done. I wasn't at my best physically, if I'm being honest, because I had come out of a really traumatic experience. My date met me when I was coming out of a very dark time in my life. But I still did what I could with what I had. Ladies, right now, I'm still with my date and I currently weigh 157 pounds. So I've lost almost 30 pounds since being with him. So my looks have improved. My hair has improved. I've just gotten better over time. And I'm someone who has always worn makeup, done my hair, go to the gym, things like that. But like I said, I was coming out of a very tough and difficult time in my life. And I had a lot of work to do on myself. But what I'm just trying to say is that I got better over time. Even my date says that, since we first started dating, like he never asked me to change. He never asked me to lose weight. He never said that he didn't find me attractive with my 180-pound body. But the change that came as a result of being in that relationship came from me. I have a specific standard for how I like to look. And I wanted to reach those standards and be happy with how I looked and with myself and with my health as well. There were also some health conditions I was battling. Thankfully, I've been able to overcome it. I've spoken about it on my channel on how I was able to reverse my high cholesterol. I lost over almost 30 pounds. I was able to shrink my waist from 35 inches to now 28 inches. My goal is 27 inches. So I continued working on myself even within the relationship. I did not let myself go. And I really want to encourage that to you ladies, because in as much as we're trying to do present ourselves in a way to appeal to men, you as a woman should also have standards for yourself, standards and boundaries that you stick to so that you don't lose yourself in your relationship. I didn't lose weight for my date. I didn't want to improve my looks and my health because of him. He provided a healthy environment where I could thrive. He wasn't a hater. He wasn't a roadblocker. He wasn't someone that said, "Oh, why are you trying to change?" No, he was very supportive. He was and still is very supportive because my goal is 150. I'm on 156 as of this morning. So I have 6 more pounds to reach my goal weight. But he was always very supportive, even though he said that like that he found me attractive at that weight and my current weight. And I've just gotten better over time. So that's what I'm trying to say, that you still want to be working on yourself as a woman, reinventing yourself, pushing yourself to the next level. Even while you're in a relationship, you shouldn't be regressing in your relationship. And that's a marker for why I felt this relationship was good for me, because I saw that I was improving over time. I wasn't declining over time. I was improving in my looks. Life was just getting better and better being with him in my life and in his life. So I just say all this to say that, ladies, don't make it a habit leaving the home looking like a bum, because you're training him to not feel like there is competition for you. And I've earlier said that men love women who other men want. He may say, "Oh, don't talk to other guys." And sure, of course, I'm not saying you should go cheat on your boyfriend, but he wants other men to say, "Oh, that's your girl." Ooh, okay. He wants to feel like other men are patting him on the back for being with a woman like you. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So I'm just encouraging you as a woman to have standards for yourself and boundaries for yourself that you stick to around how you look, around your health, around how you present yourself in public. Always leaving the house put together, investing in your skin, in your health, in your vitamins. I'm going to go into this later on, but I'm just saying that don't make this mistake of getting too comfortable. When people say things like, "Oh, when you get into a relationship and you're happy, you end up gaining happy weight." That shouldn't be you. That shouldn't be you if you watch this channel. That shouldn't be you when you watch this channel. It shouldn't. I'm not saying that if you want to gain healthy weight, you shouldn't do that. But if you're on the precipice of being unhealthy, you shouldn't be out here gaining any kind of happy weight. Happy weight is very, very relative. Let me just put it very, very clearly right now. You as a woman should be getting better over time in your relationship when you're with the right man. So that is the third reason, or the third mistake, excuse me, that women make or have make when they get too comfortable in when they are dealing with men from a physical or appealing to their looks, and that is getting too comfortable and letting yourself go. Keep up with the same energy. You should always want to have this energy where your man looks at you and he's like, "Oh, that's my woman. Oh, I'm so happy to be with you. I'm so blessed to be with you. You know, you look amazing." You always want him to feel and be enamored by you because you're his muse. You want to be his muse. You want to be the one where he gets his inspiration and his drive from. Because men need purpose and they need inspiration to keep going every single day. And you as a woman can be that inspiration when you work on your looks, but also everything else that comes after it, and your self-value and your self-worth. but work on your looks because that is super important, and don't let that slack or slide. And then the fourth reason, mistake or misconception that women have when appealing to men on a physical level, is believing men when they say you don't need all that hair, you don't need all that makeup. I'm sure you've probably heard that before, where he says, oh, I only like natural women, I only like, you know, women who are showing their natural beauty, you don't need to put all that hair, makeup and nails. They may say this, but have you ever wondered what they're looking at? The women they look at, who are the women they follow on social media? Are they women who are natural and barefaced? And I'm not asking this as a rhetorical question. I'm asking you so you can literally go, for you ladies that check your man's phone, which I personally do not recommend, but for you ladies that do, you can go on your man's social media, his Instagram in particular. Well, let's just do this because, again, if you check your man's phone, you might as well get useful knowledge that will add value to your life and not stress you out. But look through the women he follows and see if you can notice a trend. I know I did this when I first started dating my date, and I found that he followed all the women I followed, which was funny. But I noticed there was a trend in the types of women that he followed or he follows. And personally, I'm not the kind of person that will say, oh, don't follow this type of woman. Because again, I don't really monitor my man's social media. I don't believe in that. I don't even follow him on social media and whatnot, because I just value peace and I value sanity in life. And also for the women who are insecure when their man looks at other women, instead of feeling jealous and making hell rain on him, why don't you pay attention and study the women that he turns his head for? Because I want to spend some time on this, because I know women are always like, oh, if I catch him looking at other girls, I'm gonna cut his throat type of vibes. But men are always going to look at beauty and other women. It's just with their nature, it's just how they're wired. And I believe that the earlier that we as women, especially if you're watching this channel, can accept that, the more peace we'll have. Because there's no point, you make yourself look bad by being insecure and jealous, because it shows that you don't have any self-esteem or confidence in yourself or in your market, long story short. So you really want to use that opportunities. Instead of clocking him, ask him, babe, what do you like about her? And let him feel like, and again, if you ask him this question and you have a history of blowing up on him for looking at other women, he may think it's a trick question and not feel confident enough to answer. And if he doesn't, that's fine, let it slide. You don't have to force him. But really study the woman. How is her hair? How is her skin? What is she wearing? Who is she with? What is the place she's frequenting? Study these things and see what you can learn from it. If you notice that your man has a consistent track record of looking at women who have red hair, why don't you get a red wig and throw it on once in a while and see how he reacts and see what his reaction is? Again, we as women always look for reasons to be offended and triggered, and that's something that we really have to work on. You as a woman can, if you want to have success with especially masculine men, these men that have options, these men that have access to a large pool of women, well, not necessarily a large pool of women, but they have options, is what I'm trying to say. Like, women come after them is the point I'm trying to make. But you cannot afford to be insecure. You literally rule yourself out. You literally cancel yourself out by being insecure and being jealous openly. If you're jealous in private, transmute that jealousy and really use it to learn and understand your man better and pour more into yourself, to the point where when your man is looking at other women, you're on phase because you know you look good, you smell good, you're healthy, and you're whole. Ladies, this is a real thing. It's real, like Evander Holyfield. Like, you want to, this is the energy you want to possess and carry as a woman when you're dealing with these types of men. Not, oh, how can you be looking at her? Who do you think she is? Da 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 da. That kills attraction, and that makes you as a woman look bad. And these are some questions that, if you're saying, if you're believing your man, I know a lady actually commented on my post, one of my posts, and she was saying that, oh, that her man told her that that he wouldn't be with a woman who wasn't natural and who did hair and makeup and I guess wigs and makeup and stuff like that. And I responded, of course, because I'm not someone who is opposed to criticism or opposition. You can say your differences in opinions respectfully. So I asked her and I was like, okay, so are you married now? And then I also asked her, because I noticed that in her profile picture, her hair was pink. And I asked her, I said, what do you consider natural? Because your hair in your profile picture is pink. So I'm going to digress a little because I think I really need to say this. Ladies, you want to be very, I'm saying this as a warning. You want to be very careful about women. Because I know we may say that men are misleading, but women are also misleading too. Because this is a lady who essentially claims to have a man and be in a happy relationship. And she's saying that she's natural and her man likes her natural. But can someone please help me understand what is natural about pink hair? Who on this earth, across all the races, is naturally born with pink hair? So you have ladies telling you things like, oh no, don't wear the makeup, you're doing too much. Oh, you don't have to do all that for men. Meanwhile, they're out here having pink hair, electric eyeliner. This one had a full face of makeup and pink hair. And meanwhile, she was saying, oh, you need to look natural. Can you see how deceptive sometimes women can be? Especially in the realm of men, because I don't talk about women that much, but women are very competitive in the realm of men, especially masculine men. And they would purposely lead you, some of them, not all, some of them will purposely lead you astray. And that's why you as a woman have to be very careful with who you listen to. Like, this woman has a man, I'm guessing she's married, I don't know. She never responded to my comment. But people want you to be doing good, but not necessarily better than them. And that is the unfortunate reality that we live in today's society. So you want to be very watchful of other women who are telling you that, oh, you're doing too much. Why are you doing your hair? Why are you doing your makeup? Why are you doing this for? It's not necessary. I don't need that. My man said he loves me for me. Just leave them in peace and continue applying your eyeliner. Continue wearing your wigs. And mind you, I'm not saying that you have to be all glam. I love the glam look. I'm an Aries. I'm an Aries, and I have a moon in Leo in 8th house as well. So I love like glam and being super glamorous and out there and dressed up. That's just what I love generally. But I wasn't always like this. If you watch my old videos, you see how I evolved over time. I left those videos up because they're valuable, and I just want people to also see how I've evolved and changed over time, because I have nothing to hide and I'm not ashamed of myself and how I looked. I was confident then in how I looked, and I'm still confident now in how I look currently. So these are some questions that you want to ask yourself if your man claims to like you the way you are and you feel like, and tells you not to wear makeup and hair and wigs. Ask yourself, is he taking you out consistently? Does he get you gifts? Does he do things for you unprompted without you asking? Does he go out of his way to impress you and pour into you and serve you? What else did I say? Is he showing you off to other men, saying, oh, this is my woman? Does he constantly ask you where you going because he's worried that other men may be checking you out? Does he talk about you to his friends and say good things about you? If the answer is no to more than one of these, then he's lying. And I'm not saying he's lying from a place of maliciousness, but get back to who you were before you acquiesced to the plain look. Which again, there's nothing wrong with the plain look if that is how you met him and how he fell in love with you. But if you met him looking glam, doing your hair and makeup and nails, and then you stopped, I encourage you to backtrack and go back to that version of you so you can turn your relationship around and make things how they used to be again. So the ladies, yes, this is how important looks are to men. They can literally not necessarily make or break a relationship. Let me give an example. I had a manager at work, a boss, and of course I always wear makeup to work every single day. And you know, men, when they get comfortable with you, they talk a lot. And he would say things like, oh, he bought his wife a spa package because he wants her to work on this. He would always complain about how his wife was like not put together, and he missed that aspect of her that used to wear makeup and make efforts in her look. So he would buy like gifts like makeup and facial packages to encourage her to invest more in her looks, essentially. So ladies, and he would always compliment me and tell me how he loved this. He never really knew how to, he wouldn't say makeup, but he would just say, I just love all of this. You're always so put together. He would tell other co-workers, like it was a whole thing. So this is straight from another man's. I'm not saying this because I read it in a book. I'm saying this because I've seen firsthand witness of how men's behaviors change when they're not happy with the way their woman looks. It's a real thing. It's real, like Evander Holyfield. So the next segment, we've gone through the 4 common misconceptions and mistakes, and I'll just summarize them, that women make when dealing with men and appealing to them in their physicality. And the first is dressing for yourself or girlfriends versus the man. Number 2 is saying he should, or believing he should love me for me. Number 3 is getting too comfortable and letting yourself go within the relationship. Number 4 is believing men when they say you don't need all that hair and makeup. So those are the 4 misconceptions, that traps that women fall into. So now you know them, and I hope you don't fall into those same traps yourself. So the next bucket is, or the next segment of this live, is understanding masculine men. I always like to preface with this because I think it's important to understand your targets and the kind of man you're going after, their nature and how they are, so you know how you can tailor yourself. Because again, for you to seduce, you have to understand, you need to have knowledge of your target. So what is a masculine man? A masculine man, and I have a list down here that I'm going to read from. A masculine man is confident. A masculine man is strong, consistent. So consistency is the core or at the roots of masculinity. If you look at men's hormonal cycles, they only last 24 hours, but women's last 28. So we as women have a lot more fluctuations in our hormonal cycles than men do. So the root of masculinity is consistency and stability. Masculinity is grit, it's survival, it's leadership, direction, goal-oriented, logic over emotion. Simplicity in nature is represented by the sun and the light. Women are typically the moon or darkness. Masculinity is competitiveness. Sacrifice is, masculine men are typically givers, and they're led by what they see. And something I'm also going to add is that masculinity is ruled by the head. So it's it's logic over emotion. So it's about the mind over the heart. Essentially, why a lot of women are heart-led and not always logically driven. So this is going to tie into some of the things I'm going to address in the next segment of this live, which is dressing for attraction. Here I'm going to share my tips. Here I'm going to share my advice and my counsel based on my own personal experience. But before I get into that, I will say this. Your looks are important to open doors with masculine men, but what really keeps them and maintains the treatment and the quality treatment you get are your standards, your boundaries, and your emotional control. And again, I encourage you to watch my live, Unlocking the Mindset of a Queen, the mindset you need to deal with masculine, the rules of engagement for dealing with masculine men. I go into the mindset that a lot of women or most women should embody and have when dealing with these types of men so we can win with them. Okay, so we're 45 minutes in and I have some way to go. We're going to go into dressing for attraction. This is the fun stuff. Number one is hair. Most masculine men prefer long, full hair. And what is considered long hair? Anything that's your shoulders and below. I know that there are outliers, I know that there are exceptions to the rules, but most men, especially masculine men, value longer hair because it's a marker of health. And it also reminds them of something that they're attracted to their opposites, what they're not. Most masculine men have short hair, so they value a woman who has long hair because that's not what they possess. So you want your hair to be longer, fuller, or long, full, and clean. Emphasis on clean. And I'm going to talk about scents shortly because that's one bucket or one component of dealing or dressing to attract masculine men. But you want your hair to be clean and believable. A lot of masculine men don't really care if your hair is a wig, if you wear weaves, if you do clip-ins and stuff like that. They just want it to look good and they want it to look believable. And ladies, you don't have to believe me. You can test this out yourself. I love wearing wigs because it's very easy for me to switch up my look. I love switching up my look because, again, men also love it when you are dynamic in how you present yourself. It keeps things exciting and it keeps them chasing and the attraction going. But I'll give a quick story time. So my date, I always switch up my looks with him. He always says, "Oh, I feel like I'm always the different woman being with you." But I tested out a short curly wig with him and asked him what he prefers, and he said I just sent him the picture. And he was like, "Oh, you look beautiful." Like, he was very like supportive. Like, again, he never tells me that I look bad, you know, but he was like, "Oh, you look so beautiful." And then I was like, "Okay, date, with this look and my other looks, which one do you prefer?" And he said straight up, "I prefer the longer hair." This was a curly wig that was like this long. And I looked good in it, but he just preferred the longer hair. So instead of, if you're still battling this with me, buy two wigs. Get one that is long and past your shoulders, and get one that is short and wear it around your man and see the reactions you get from him. And you can even straight up ask him, my man, which look do you prefer? Do you prefer this one or this one? And see which one he picks. Again, you want to establish a relationship with your man where he feels comfortable enough to say his true desires. That's something that we as women can cultivate. And if you want me to do a video on how to get your man to open up to you and be comfortable enough to communicate, so you don't have the issue where women say, "Oh, my man never communicates with me, he's closed off," let me know and I'm happy to do a video on that. So, but you want to take care of your hair if you have any. Keep your wigs clean. It doesn't matter the texture. What matters more is the length. So you could have coily hair, you could have wavy hair, you could have straight hair, you could have dreadlocks. What really matters is that it's clean and it's long and it's well put together. So where can you wear your short and curly wigs, your short wigs too? Like the short curly wig I have, I can wear that when I'm running errands or out with my girlfriends or with family and my mom. But when I'm with my date, I make sure that I dress in a way that he finds attractive, and that is with longer hair. So I don't make the rules. I know lots of women like to fight and tussle, and Yeah, but this is just how men are, and this is just what they preferred for ages. It hasn't changed much. Okay, so we've gone through hair. Number two is smell. Okay, so ladies, we want to first of all start with being clean. So you want to ensure you're showering, you're brushing your teeth, you're washing your hair. Like, this should be common knowledge. But I actually did a video on my body care routine where I shared my products on that I use to maintain myself and to smell good and have soft skin. And also, I also went into skincare as well. So I encourage you to watch that if you want more details. But ladies, appealing to the senses is a very feminine thing. So sensuality is feminine. And that's what this channel is based around, sensuality and being appealing to all the senses. Not necessarily sex. There's a time and a place for that, but that's not really where the true power lies, because SES is just so easily accessible right now that it still has value, but that will never keep a man, in my opinion. So you want to play your game or play your cards in a different way, and appealing to the senses is one way to go, or a way to go. So what is appealing to the senses? So appealing to taste, touch, sound, vision, and smell. Today we're going to focus on smell and vision and touch. And I'm going to give some tips. I did a video on scents and fragrances that attract masculine men. But after you're showered and you're clean with soap and water, you want to have a signature scent. You want to lotion your body so your body is soft and smooth. So the lotion I have on today is a pink rose and oatmeal scented body butter by a brand called Siroa, and it has a very light rose scent. And I also layer it because we're in the winter season, but I do this year round. But I layered this with my shea butter mix that has essential oils in it, and this just ensures that I am never ashy. My skin is supple, my skin is soft and very well moisturized. But you can always use any type of body lotion or body oil on it. And this is scented. You don't have to use scented ones if you're sensitive to smell, but just ensure that you as a woman are not just hopping out the shower and not lotioning yourself before you get dressed, because again, it's not just for vanity purposes, but you want to preserve your skin to do so. And then you also, so that's for touch as well, or that's a segment of touch and scent. And I'm going to share more tips as we progress. But sensuality in a woman, I have to just discuss this topic a little bit more. Sensuality as a woman is a turn on to masculine men, because guess what? I earlier mentioned that these men are always in their head. You know, a lot of men are ruled by the neck up and the waist down. That's where their power and strength lies in. But we women our domain are our neck down to our waist up, so our torso area and our chest and whatnot. So that's where our power lies mostly as a woman from an esoteric level. If you look at the chakras and which energy centers that men have stronger and women have stronger. But sensuality helps the man to get into his body, which is something he doesn't experience on a consistent basis. And if you as a woman are tapped into your senses, you can bring that to the man and he can experience those things through you. And that actually makes you stand out from other women. So when you've lotioned yourself, you also want to have a signature scent or scents. And this is where I encourage you to play around as well. Because scents make you memorable. Scents are tied to memory, they're tied to emotions. I encourage you to watch my fragrance video on that. But I will say this, the combination I'm wearing today for fragrance is the pink rose and oat milk body butter And I have this perfume by The Clone. This is what she looks like, called Brave in Love. This is a dupe for Killian Love Don't Be Shy. And I really want to appreciate The Clone for gifting me these fragrances to talk about. I love fragrances and I have a lot of them. And I'm going to go through some today, but that's my combination that I have on today. So I smell rosy and florally. Another one that I really like and I recommend, this is actually the one my date always compliments me on. It is a dupe for Bacarat Rouge 540 extrait de parfum. It's called Rouge Veil. And you can see this is the original that I have. You can see I use it quite a bit. It has quite a bit of a dent in it, and I'm happy to have like a clone, because these smell identical and it lasts really long. I think the Clone perfumes, they're an indie brand and they are extrait de parfum, and extrait de parfum basically has the highest concentration of perfume oils in the formula, so it lasts really long on the skin. And then last but not the least, I don't think any woman can go wrong with a Tom Ford fragrance. I own a lot of Tom Ford, and a lot of men have complimented me on this particular one. Tom Ford's Black Orchid. It's very dark, very mysterious, and very expensive. But if you are looking for another one that is pretty boozy and very attractive to men, you can try this one from The Clone, which is a dupe for Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, and it's called Cherry Kiss. And I love that one, and I enjoy layering it with this perfume oil from Cherry Kiss, Sand and Fog. I got this from TJ Maxx. And that is pretty much it for some of my recommended perfumes. And another one I get a lot of compliments from men on, besides the Baccarat Rouge 540, is the Alien Oud. This perfume has unfortunately been discontinued, but I love it so much, and I always get compliments from men when I wear it. Always, always, always. So those are my scent picks. I encourage you to test out different scents around your man and see what he responds to, and adjust yourself accordingly, because again, ladies, you're trying to appeal to your man. A lot of these things, seduction, a lot of it is really observation and studying your target, and then tailoring yourself to fit what it is they're looking for on an emotional and, in this case, a physical level. So that is it for scents. I already touched on that. But then now the third thing, we're going to focus on touch. How do you feel as a woman? Because again, men fall in love with how they feel around you, and they fall in love with what they do for you. So how do you feel on a physical level? Ideally, you want to feel soft and smooth, because again, most men are hairy and their hands are like very rugged, and I forget the word, but I'll just say rugged and crusty, crunchy. But this is, or having healthy skin on your body and on your face is a symbol of health to men. This is a health marker to men. So I really want to encourage you to, yes, wear makeup, but have a good skincare routine that is set in place to preserve the skin and your looks. You want to also be, because I understand that if you have acne, I'm actually currently working on my skin. I have makeup on right now, but my skin has been going through some things and I'm working through it from an internal level. But what that would look like is balancing your gut microbiome. And if you want me to make a video on this, please let me know. Blood sugar levels and your hormones. The hormones you want to particularly focus on are insulin, cortisol, and estrogen as a woman. So you want to balance all of those, and in the result of that would be clearer skin on your body and on your face. You want to exfoliate for softness, get rid of those dead skins. You can exfoliate with physical scrubs. I personally do chemical exfoliation. What I use is the Amlactin Intense healing 15% lactic acid body lotion, and I use this every other night at night to exfoliate my skin, and I found that it works perfectly for me. Let's see what else. I already mentioned that you want to be lotioning your body with oils and body butters to keep it scented, smooth, and soft. You also want to take supplements as a woman to nourish your skin from within, because again, if your vitals are stable, if your hormones are stable, you are more likely to have better skin. So this is really taking care of your health, is what I'm trying to say. Because when they say, that's what, when they say beauty starts from within. As because I truly believe that as a woman, you want to be soft on the outside, but strong on the inside. You need to have like a clear and a strong internal compass, and that is what makes you irresistible to the opposite sex and men. Also, taking care of your skin keeps you aging well. So I know you as a woman, we want to look good for our age as we progress across the years, and taking care of what you have is a surefire way to make sure that you turn out better. So get facials, do treatments, get into your retinols, and really invest in your diet and invest in your skincare as well. You want to rest and sleep properly, because again, that does impact your skin as a woman on a consistent basis. If you ensuring that you're sleeping and getting regular rest, napping too. There's no shame in napping. Napping is not just for kids. We as adults can and should nap too, especially women. If you're busy, just squeeze in a 1 hour nap, and you're doing yourself a good service when you prioritize your rest and your sleep. As a woman, your hormones will thank you, and your blood sugar levels, your cholesterol, and all the other vital signs of health that we'll be going into shortly will thank you. And I just want to say this as well, the importance of not letting yourself go too long as a woman, because the older you become, it becomes more difficult. It's not impossible, but it becomes more difficult and harder to bounce back when you've let yourself go so much. You want to have a consistent routine that you follow and adopt. Want to have systems and structures set in place as a woman, where your self-care is of the utmost priority in terms of diet, exercise, sleep, maintenance routines, and more. You want to make sure you have systems set up in place. A man cannot give this to you. You as a woman have to set this up for yourself. I'm not saying that you necessarily have to spend on the most expensive skincare products and makeup brands, but you want to find what works for your skin and you want to stick to it. So that is it for your skin. Ladies, take care of your skin, because it is your largest organ, and it does symbolize how things are internally with you. You definitely don't want to take that for granted. Oh, and also wear sunscreen too, because you want to prevent the sun from damaging your hard work, especially if you use actives like retinols and AHAs and BHAs. So yeah. Number 4 is shoes. Shoes. Men love heels. Men love heels is all I'm going to say. Heels, sexy heels, and sexy sandals. Say no to orthopedic shoes, like those shoes that are known for arch and cushion support. You want to learn to walk in heels. Have a good pair of heels in your collection. You want heels. Men love heels. These are by Louboutin. And this is what I'm wearing today with my dress. Men love heels. You can also opt for block heels too, if thin heels puts a lot of pressure on you. But I do encourage you to wear or learn how to walk in heels, because they make your legs look amazing and men go crazy for it. Here's an example of a block heel. So you can see these ones. These are also by Louboutins too. They've been used and abused, but I love these shoes so much. But honestly, come on. I'm releasing a shirt where I'm wearing these, and you have to just let me know that these are a statement. Amazing. I just love them so much. I love Louboutin. You don't necessarily have to get Christian Louboutin shoes. You can just get a pair of pumps and sandals that make your legs look killer. You want to take care of your nails and your toes. Get them manicured and pedicured. I have this foot. I don't really enjoy getting pedicures, if I'm being honest. It's not something that relaxes me. But every week I use this pumice stone, this foot scrubber on the heels of my foot to get rid of the dead skin and keep it super soft and moisturized. Make sure your toes are well groomed and your feet smell good. If you struggle with foot odor as a woman, a hack I have for you is baking soda and apple cider vinegar. You can soak your feet in it. That helps with odor and athlete's foot. You can also do baking soda and Epsom salt. That helps with foot odor as well. So those are a few options that you do have. If your shoes smell, you want to be conscious and aware of that. You can also sprinkle baking soda in your shoes overnight, and the baking soda would absorb the odor and you can dust it out in the morning. So those are just some shoe hacks as well. But I can't stress this enough. Men love heels. Men love sexy heels and sandals. I personally don't recommend wearing sneakers because, again, sneakers is a very masculine type of outfit. It's something that men wear and it reminds them of another man. But if you are to wear sneakers, maybe wear them to the gym. That's what I do. I don't really wear sneakers outside the gym. If I want to wear flat shoes, I wear ballet flats or cute sandals. I don't wear sneakers. But again, I know there are anomalies and there are exceptions to these rules. So use your discretion. But generally, this is what men find attractive. I don't think I've seen a man say he finds, like, I don't think I've seen a man who would choose sneakers over a pair of high heels, is what I'm trying to say. So you can pick your poison and decide where you want to stand on that topic. Number 5 is your body. So I'm going to set this preface and say that men like different bodies. They like different body types, weights, sizes. But my question to you as a woman watching this is that, do you feel healthy, vibrant, and attractive in your own body currently that you have? Another question I'm going to ask you as a woman to see if you need to change or make a change is, how are your vitals? How are your hormones and your nutrient levels? Are you going to doctor to check those things? How do you feel in your, and I'm going to go into this very shortly, but let's just keep going. I just want to preface and say this. You don't have to be bone skinny, but you do want a body where you are healthy and you're able to function optimally daily, whether you're on your period or not. Your period should not be an excuse for you to completely have a disrupted schedule. I know we as women should be cycle synced, and I believe in cycle syncing and living with your cycle because that is super important. But your period should not be causing you something that you dread because it's so painful, or you bleed heavily or excessively. So what are the markers of health? What are your vitals looking like? So these are some markers of health. Number 1, your metabolic health. Do you happen to know what your blood sugar levels are, your cholesterol levels, your triglycerides? You may want to have those checked out and see if you're not at a healthy weight. You want to have those checked and see where you stand. Number 2, your periods. Are they regular, pain-free, and with a normal flow Or are your periods painful, excessive bleeding, excessive PMS, excessive mood swings? I'm saying all these things because I didn't experience heavy bleeding, but I experienced the mood swings and the pains, the cramps, and I'm working through mine now, and I'm, by God's grace, almost healed. Thank you so much, God. But are they normal? Do you have cysts, fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis, all those things? Those are all signs of estrogen dominance, which at the root of it is linked to your insulin levels and your body's ability, having high blood sugar and your body's inability to excrete excess estrogen. So pay attention to that and answer that question for yourself. Number 3, how are your vitamins and minerals? So how are your iron levels, your vitamin D levels, your magnesium levels? Have these checked out, because all these influence your mood and your energy levels as a woman. Is super important. Number 4 is your belly fat. Do you have excessive belly fat? And how can you decide if this is a problem that needs to be addressed or not? What you're going to do is you're going to measure your waist. You measure your waist and you in inches, and you measure your height in inches, and you want to divide your waist by your height. So for instance, my waist is 28 inches. Praise God, because it used to be 35. But God, I snatched myself back. Yes, Jesus. Anyways, my waist is currently 28 inches and I'm 5'6", which is I think 177 inches. So when you divide that, that comes down to 38%, if I'm not mistaken. The last time I checked, I could be wrong though, but 30 something percent. Ladies, you want your waist to height ratio to be under 50%. And if you are at or above 50%, this leaves you at major risk for health conditions like heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, high blood pressure. So when I'm saying or prefacing what I was trying to allude to is about losing weight and having a smaller waist, because men find that attractive when your waist to hip ratio is smaller. When you have women who have smaller waist, men find that typically more attractive. That's why the hourglass figure is so desired. But I put all these markers here so you can really assess yourself as a woman and see, do I need to make changes in my body, in my weight, so that I can be healthier? Number one, because we want to attract men, but we want to actually live long too. We want to live long. Do you see what I'm trying to say? But men prefer a smaller waist because it is a marker of health. It's not just about vanity, but having a waist that is too large for your body comes with a host of health conditions that we are not ready for and we do not want in our lives. So that is why I am encouraging you to work on your body. So now the question you may ask is, okay, Ashama, does this mean that I have to lose weight before I start dating? And I don't believe you have to lose weight before you start dating. I did not lose weight before I started dating. I did the best I could. I lost the weight while I was dating. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Because my inherent belief was that I'm always going to find a man who finds me attractive at the size I'm in currently. You as a woman need to have that belief. A healthy man who will love me and appreciate me at my current size, because I already began with this, that different men like different body types and body sizes. So that's my viewpoint on that. So that brings us to the end of this live. Thank you all, everyone, for joining. I'm going to go ahead and read the comment section of the live. I see people sending their greetings. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Somebody said your dress is very good. Thank you. Somebody said great topic. Thank you, Adam, for that. And I'm going to just give a recap of what we discussed today. So today we discussed dress to impress, how to dress for the masculine man you want. We talked about why women should dress for men, and in particular masculine men. We discussed 4 common misconceptions and mistakes that women make when dressing and appealing to men on a physical level. And then we went into understanding the masculine man. What is a masculine man and what is masculine energy? And then we also went into the 5 pillars of dressing for attraction. And that is it for this live. I've had such a good time. Let me put my sunglasses back on because, vibes are vibes on vibes. But if you wish, you can support my channel. You can, of course, like and subscribe, but you can also purchase my handmade headbands. I'm currently wearing a carnelian one, available on misslaja.com. Oh, I forgot to say, you can use my coupon code with the clone LAJA products to get 15% off your purchases. So these are the perfumes that I discussed earlier on, and I have a coupon code for them. So you can support my channel that way. And last but not the least, I have handmade in Nigeria earrings. These are what they look like, and they are also available for sale on misslaja.com. So head over there and yeah, let me know what you all want to see next. I had so much fun shooting this live, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.